All right, so it's time for us to start cutting. I've already placed my fabric on fold for the back. Okay, so I'll come in with my pattern right now, and I'm cutting the back first. So this is the back piece on fold, so I'll simply place it on fold. So when you are placing, remember we are going to add our seam allowances where necessary. So you secure with your pins. I'm going to secure with my pins. Okay. So before I secure this part, this is what I will do. I'll open it up. Can you see? So the opening I have right here is just 4 inches and it's okay. I don't want it to flay. But if you want it to flay more, you can open more. So, but I don't want it to flay that much. So I'll just open it at 4 inches. Okay, so 4 inches is okay. So at that point, I'll secure with my pin. I'll secure with my pin. So now I'll be adding my seam allowances for the back, and I'm adding at 0.5. So like I earlier told you, what you are seeing right here from the shoulder, you can see that is where our shoulder started. At this point was 5 inches. The opening I had here, that opening I made here was 4, but I want to increase it to 6. So I don't want to add another pepper to increase it, so I increase it on fabric at 6, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance for sewing the sides of 1/2 inch. So I'm increasing at 6. I'm adding 1/2 inch for the seam allowance of sewing the sides. So you can also add 1 inch. So it all depends on what you want. So in other words, totally from here to here, I added 2 inches. So I'll mark the 2 inches down. Like I said, I don't want to add pepper. So I just cut at 2 inches for the side, both the sewing and increasing that part of the sleeve. So for the length of this gown, if you are okay with this length, you can leave it at what we had. Remember, the length we had was 24. Okay, that is our blouse length. So if you want, you can increase it. So I just want to increase it to 26. Okay, so it will be able to, in case you are wearing it with your trouser or you don't want to expose your hips, you can increase the length. Okay, so I'll just make the length at 26. So once I fold in, I will have it at 25, and it's still okay for what we are making. So I'm going to cut off camera now. So once I cut, I'll come back to tell you how I cut. So here I'm cutting now, and I want to just show you few areas you need to cut and the way you need to cut it. So right here I added extra inches. Like I told you, the length of the pepper is 24, but I just made it 27 because I actually want it to cover. So the length is your choice. You can see it's 27. So that means I added extra 3 inches. 3 inches. Coming over here, I added 3 inches. 3 inches, as you can see. So that is that for the length. So coming over to this side, I told you about, we added 2 inches extra, and you know why we did that. I've already explained it. So this is the 2 inches. I'll just start cutting, including my seam allowance for the side will be taken care of for the 2 inches on the side. So here I want to actually explain to you, because I've taken 0.5 inch, I've cut 0.5 inch all through, okay, keeping my tape this way, or you can use your chalk to mark the 0.5. So at this point I'm cutting this way. Remember how we drafted that? This is where we have our sleeve. So I'm adding 0.5 inch here. Can you see? To the point the sleeve is going to come out from. Can you see? So that is how we are going to sew. So by the time we sew and get to this point, so at this point you are going to make a notch. So I just make a notch. This is where our seam line will stop. Okay, once I see this notch, our seam line stops there. It closes here and we pass our arm at this point. So I made everything, instead of 4, I made it 6 inches plus half an inch. So you can also increase it. It all depends on how open and free you want that part to be. So here I'm done cutting my pattern. Okay, so you can see what the pattern looks like. Okay, I just want to show you the hem part. You add extra inches to it. This is it. On the center back you have it on fold. For the front you add 0.5 inch all around, and for the side I added extra inches on fabric. You can do that on paper too. So now I take up the pattern and separate what we have for the back for sewing. Can you see? So the back, the part of the back is the part you are seeing that is going to be on fold. So I set this aside till we'll get back to the back. So now I'm going to cut out and make alterations once again for the front piece. So for the front piece neckline, this is the neckline for the front, the natural neckline, because it's actually a turtle neckline. So we gave it a beautiful design here, which I'm going to cut into the center front. Can you see? So that is the design of our facing, and this one we are cutting 2 times. So since we are cutting 2 times, I will take this off and I'll bring in my fabric for the front. So for the fabric for the front, this one we are not placing it on fold. So I'll just pick up my pattern now and place my pattern at the center like this. Can you see? You see it's not on fold. I just place it at the center, as you can see. So once I place it at the center, I'll also make sure it's aligned on a straight line. Okay, so that you are placing it on the center does not mean you have to slant it. It still needs to be on a straight line. Okay. So people, next we'll do is to open up, because we did that for the front. So for the opening up, we are opening at 4 inches. From here to here we open at 4 inches. So I'll secure with my pin right there. Secure with my pin. Please don't allow this part to go off. So I will remeasure my 4 inches here. Okay. So I'm just repeating the whole process I did. The only difference is that the neckline has changed and it's going to be cut on fold. So I will quickly do this off camera and I'll show you how what I added. Of course I'm going to add 0.5, but I'll show you. Let me just cut this other part, then Alright, so for the front I've added the extra 3 inches on the hem and 2 inches on the side, and I've added 0.5 from here to sew this part and to the neckline. So I want to show you how I added for the front neckline. So I'm just cutting, you can see how I'm doing that at 0.5. So you can just mark this thing out. Okay, you must not follow your, but for ease of to save our time, I'm going to cut in this manner so we'll be able to save time. So what I'm adding is 0.5 because this part is actually going to be totally open. So when you are wearing this dress, you'll be wearing something in front, like a camisole inside or another dress inside, and this will just serve as your outer garment. So that is what we have, and you can see that. Okay, so we've added a seam allowance, so this part now is separate. So I'm going to cut the facing. We are going to start working on the first on the front piece first before we jump into the back. So I'm going to cut the both facings now that we cut. I'll cut the facing off camera and I'll come back to show you how I did that. So I'm going to first hairstay. After my hairstay, then I'll place it on fabric. Let me quickly do that.